Obama's homosexual scandal just blew wide open. Wow by Lady Liberty for Veteran AF. Many Americans on both sides of the political spectrum sense that there is just something not quite right with former President Barack Obama, even if they don't want to admit it. Sure, he seemed charismatic to some and was certainly younger and more boastful than most presidents, yet there was just something else that didn't sit right with a good majority of conservatives, other than his bad policies and his outright anti-American actions. His sexuality was frequently in question throughout his entire presidency that was first brought to light by Freedom Daily. Look at him throwing the ball. Obama's peculiar mannerisms were one thing, but when added with the characteristics of his wife, it all led to the assumption of his affinity for men, considering Michelle Obama's masculine attributes. Over time, we have learned that perhaps this was no coincidence, considering what was recently revealed in an upcoming biography explains a lot more than his high-paid memoir did. Separate from the words Barack and Michelle chose to write about themselves in their book, which is sure to be a flamboyantly flattering tale of their wonderful marriage and the poetic path to the presidency, Pulitzer Prize-winning author David Garrow revealed something a bit more real. Straight from the pages of his biography is a revelation that confirms what many conservatives have suspected for many years. According to the Daily Caller, Obama admitted that during his questionable college years, he considered being gay. This seems like a tiptoe dance around the admission that he actually is either sexually confused or a complete homosexual, since by his own party's belief system, gayness isn't something you can control, and it's what people are born with. In a chapter about the former president's 2 years at Occidental College, Garrow reveals a close relationship Obama had with an openly gay assistant professor named Lawrence Golden. Golden made a huge impact on Barack Obama, Garrow wrote in the book almost a quarter century later. Asked about his understanding of gay issues, Obama enthusiastically said, "My favorite professor my first year in college was one of the first openly gay people that I knew. He was a terrific guy with whom Obama developed a friendship beyond the classroom." Adding to that sentiment, the biographer explained Golden years later would remember that Obama was not fearful of being associated with me in terms of talking socially and learning from me as well as in class. 3 years later, Obama wrote somewhat elusively to his first intimate girlfriend that he had thought about and considered gayness, but ultimately had decided that a same-sex relationship would be less challenging and demanding than developing one with the opposite sex, Garrow wrote. So right there, he just admitted it. He just chose it out of convenience, so he's gay. But there is no doubting that Golden gave 18-year-old Barry a vastly more positive and uplifting image of gay identity and self-confidence than he had known in Honolulu. All his leg-crossing, wrist-flapping, curly running, and his massive catering to the LGBTQ agenda now makes complete sense, as does marrying and bedding a woman who has some very masculine features. This is no longer about assumptions. It is now proven by Obama's own admission that he was actually confused enough to realize that he probably actually had homosexual tendencies. He admitted to this prior to realizing that it could be a career suicide to be openly gay. Yes, I am positive that liberals are going to come at us on this next claim that their fake news rhetoric is in full force, but they are the ones who insist on calling a spade in these type of situations and accepting things for what they are. So by their very own logic, someone should release Obama from his heterosexual entrapment and let this allegedly gay man plant his rainbow seeds and rejoice as his pretty posses bloom, or posies bloom. At a minimum, he is probably bisexual. And that is solely based on his own admission that he once considered being gay. Not too many genuinely straight men have wandered to the other side, or even remotely wondering what a I can't help these pictures. Wondering what a same-sex relationship would be like, since the idea is generally repulsive to men of a heterosexual nature. One commenter on Downtrends Reports made a great point. It's not like buying a car. Well, I considered the blue BMW, but decided it wasn't challenging enough on tight roads. I also find it interesting that they claim his first intimate relationship was 3 years later. My math says that would be 21 years old. This guy creeps me out. I really don't care to know anymore. In addition, I don't believe anything I read from his fanboys. It's probably all PR BS anyway. It's ironic how the truth seems to always find this lying president after he leaves office. A lot more makes sense now based on his no longer hidden sexuality and his LGBT agenda, which we saw often in political situations while he was in the White House. Be real, Obama. Embrace your true identity as you so often urge your followers. Be the example. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being gay, but don't pretend like you're not. Look at these poses. I can't help it. I couldn't contain myself after these pictures. I mean, it just is so obvious. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.